Alrighty, so what is Tencent? Let's get into it. It's a company that is bigger than Berkshire Hathaway, but honestly, most Westerners don't know a single thing about it. And honestly, that's understandable because we just don't use it. So Tencent is a Chinese tech company that has two parts of their business. Number one, their operating businesses, and number two, their investments. This is a good way to think about Tencent, and Monish will explain this more in a clip that I'll play in a minute or two. So in terms of operating businesses, it all stems from WeChat and QQ. These are both broad social media applications, with WeChat being about twice the size of QQ in terms of monthly active users. However, QQ is the OG product launched by Tencent in 1999. But yes, the bulk of Tencent's users and customers are on WeChat, known as Weixin in China. And when you glance at WeChat, it certainly seems just like a Chinese Facebook, but I like how Packy McCormick describes it in his blog post, Tencent the Ultimate Outsider. He says, Tencent is like Facebook, Nintendo, Shopify, Netflix, Spotify, Slack, and PayPal rolled into one. And WeChat is certainly like that. The 1.2 billion WeChat users run their life off of this app. They don't just send emojis to their friends with it. It's like a super app. This infographic shows it well. Chat, payments, search, games, video streaming, inbuilt business apps. WeChat really is like the super app of China. And you can see this graphic shows how they're quickly creating an entire ecosystem. Tencent is using their software prowess to embed their apps deeply into people's daily lives. As you can see, it starts with WeChat and QQ. Then there's three pillars to these apps: sharing, communication, and socializing. And that branches out to video content, games, music, reading, payments, work, medical. You know, it's a big ecosystem, and this giant user base has led them to have very big impacts in many industries. Number one social media community, number one in games, number one in long form video, news, music, literature, number one mobile browser, number one in mobile payments. In fact, they only score number two in cloud, with number one taken obviously by Alibaba. So they have dominant operating businesses, but where do they make their money? Well, when you look at their financial statements, you'll see that 21% of revenue comes from their social networks. This includes video and music subscriptions, live streaming, and in-game item sales. Then 31% of revenue comes from games, including Honor of Kings, League of Legends, Brawl Stars, PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, Valorant, Clash of Clans, and a lot more. 17% comes from online advertising on WeChat and QQ, as well as their app store, browser, also their news, video, music offerings. And then 29% comes from their fintech and business services, including things like payments, wealth management, cloud, and other enterprise-facing services. So that's their operating businesses. But then the second half of Tencent's business is their big investment portfolio packed full of growth companies. On a recent earnings call, they said they now have positions in over 700 companies. Now, I don't think there's a full list of all of these businesses, but we know this includes big stakes such as 5% ownership of Tesla, 12% stake in Snap, 40% in Epic Games, 9% of Shopify, 17% of Pinduoduo, 18% in JD, and so on. So you can start to understand why this company is sometimes called the Berkshire Hathaway of technology. You know, it's a big conglomerate with a lot of operating businesses, but then also a big equity portfolio.